Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Can you give me a brief description about your profile?
Yeah, myself is Karnaka, around 2.9 years experience on DevOps. In my past experience, I worked on a couple of tools like version control system. I have very good experience on SQL and basic knowledge in Git also. Coming to build tools, I have very good experience on Maven and Ant also I worked. Coming to continuous integration, I have very good experience on Jenkins. In my past experience, I installed a couple of plugins and a couple of nodes in my project requirement. And also coming to deployment tools, using the continuous delivery, configuration management tool, I have good knowledge in Chef and also good knowledge in Rundeck also. And coming to ticketing system tool like RTC, I have good knowledge, and the Jira also knowledge, and also ServiceNow also I have good knowledge. And coming to backup repository thing like Nexus, I have very good experience. So, and also I have good experience on a code monitoring tool like Fisheye. Latest commits we have to check in a particular tool like Fisheye. I have very good experience. And also I have good knowledge in like a change management tool, ITSM, like instance management of change request. I have very good experience on that. And also basic knowledge in RHCV also, like creating the VMs and creating the environment setup, and also doing the smoke test also. I have a little bit knowledge on that. So this
Okay.
is myself. Yeah.
Okay. So what is Maven?
So Maven is a build tool. Here we can do while using the Maven both build and release process also we can do. And also we will using the Nexus repository we can take the backup of our particular packages in the Jenkins also. So this
So what is the difference between Ant and Maven?
yeah, so main difference between Ant and Maven is in Ant, while using the Ant, we will build the code only. But while we doing the Maven, we will build the code and release the packages. Coming to Ant, we don't have any particular life cycle in Ant. But while using the Maven, we have particular life cycle we have while using the Maven. And also Maven will support the plugins also, but in Ant that is not possible in the Ant. In the Ant we will write the build.xml, and in Maven we will write the pom.xml. So
Okay.
this kind of
So what?
different, yeah, project object model.
Mm-hmm.
So
So what does it do?
yeah. So usually while using the form, what and all developer mention in the form.xml is, so first they will mention the group ID, artifact ID, and version, snapshot version on the particular version. They will mention in that, and also coming to SCM section, they will mention the URL of our version control system. Like suppose if you are using the SPN as the version control system, then the developer will mention the URL of the SPN, where the code will be checked out from the version control. That URL we will pass from the SCM tag. Suppose if I wanted to use the distribution management, so then I will mention our Nexus repository URL into here in the distribution management. So these kind of things we have while using the form.
Okay. So other than the SVN link and build comments, what does the form file contain?
Like group ID, artifact ID, and version, our form.xml has. Group ID of our code version and
Okay.
snapshot
So
version.
what does it contain?
So it artifact ID is nothing but a particular folder in the suppose if we have the path like a group ID dot arg dot apache dot maven dot some plugin.
So how is the reference to APIs is defined when you are using Maven?
What? How is that?
Reference to APIs define?
That we can define in the .m2 folder in the repository.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does it is linked with form?
When we configuring the Maven, we have to set the .m2 repository, our Maven path into our repository, M2 repository path. So like that it will call.
Okay. What is project dependencies?
Project dependency. So there, in the project dependency, we have to mention our Maven Maven path, like version of the Maven link we will share from the project link.
What is the difference between dependency management and dependency?
Can you please once again? What is the difference
What is
between?
dependency management?
Yeah. So dependency management is MVN clean dependency we can use. So a dependency goal is nothing but once we creating the packages, finally we will execute the phase in the dependency goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you define the build profiles?
How do we?
Define the build profiles. So you will have different build profiles, right? Because in Windows, the build profile will be a little different than in Linux. So how do you specify the profiles?
In Maven only, right? Build.
Yeah.
For that profile and then we have to add plugins, right, into your form.xml. We will write the profile plugins.
Okay.
So there we have to mention our project dependency targets. We have to mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are different Maven build life cycles?
Yeah. So coming to life cycle here, once our developer develop the source code, it will check the Maven check the step by step. It will first stage, it will validate the code of your code. It will validate the first stage. Once validation is done, then it will go to next phase. It will check it will compile the code of your code. Compile the code, then it will go to test phase. So here once compilation is done, it will test the code of your framework, whatever it may be, it will check. Once it is done, then it will go to package stage. There in the package stage, complete compilation code, class files, it will converting into packages. After that, it will verify the stage. In the verify stage, it will verify the all packages. After that, it will go and if I wanted to install, then install, or else we can deploy the packages. So these are the different stages in the Maven life cycle.
Okay. What is the command for build?
What?
What is the command? Can you mention the command for?
Yeah, MVN clean. If first stage, if I wanted to first stage, cleaning that folder, so MVN clean we are using. So if I wanted to compile the code space, MVN space compile like that, step by step I'll follow.
What is a repository?
So repository is nothing but if you wanted to store your source code in the particular location, we are using the repository. So there, we are maintaining the repositories to check the history of the previous revisions, to track the history of your code. It will possible while using the repository.
What is an Artifactory server?
So Artifactory server is nothing but if you wanted to take the backup of any packages once you generated the packages. you will use the Artifactory. So usually Nexus we are using to take the backup of the any particular version. Usually we will take the backups in Artifactory two ways. One is automation and another is manual also if possible. So when you are doing the manual uploading a package to the Nexus, you require the exact path like group ID, artifact ID and the version you require. And also if I wanted to automate this complete structure, you can mention in your form only, you can mention the your Nexus part of your backup repository part. So like this we can use the Artifactory.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you package jars when you are using Maven?
Yeah. So once my compilation is done, after compilation I'll get the -- files of the Java code. After that, while using the Maven MVN space packaging command, I can using that goal, I can packaging the code.
Okay, so you will have a lot of dependency and multiple jars, right? Like Sturt or Spring or JDBC. Okay, so many. Okay, so where does this jar file will reside?
After compilation only our jar files will be create. After packaging only that jar files will create. So for that we have to write the dependency targets in the PAM.
Okay.
So according to the dependency targets, it will generating the jar files. So like if I wanted to send all jar files together, we are using the RPM file to deploy the package.
Okay. So what is an archetype?
What?
Archetype.
I didn't get what? Arctic.
What is archetype? ARCHETYPE. Archetype.
Not sure about this.
Okay, I have not used arc.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which code repository have you used?
I used SVN repository. So recently I started working on Git repository also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the benefits of using version control?
So many benefits we have while using the version control system. So like what we have to do is in the version control system, basic purpose is to store the source code of the any versions into particular location. So in that version control system only, according to my requirements, I will create the different branches and different tags and the trunk also we will create. So the structure is if I wanted to follow particular terminology like strategy in the branching, also it will possible. Like usually we will create the repositories in the version control system. Once we creating the repositories, what we have to do is according to my requirement, I will create the different branches. So branches is nothing but. So initially when I do the development, I will create the first development branch. Suppose if already this development is it's done, if I release this version into live, so after 2 or 3 months something issues happen to particular branch. So what I will do is I will create the different branches for the fixing the branches, bug fix branch I will create. And also if I wanted to create the temporary purpose branches like hotfix branch. Sometimes we will creating this kind of branches. So what it will do is, I will use that branches for the 2 or 3 days for the temporary purpose. If I want to add the little bit code to the existing version, I will use the this hotfix branches. So and also if I want to develop the parallel development, I will create the future branches also. So this and also while using the tagging in the version control system, I will take the backup of the particular version for the future reference. Like after Jenkins job getting success, version by version, I will maintain the backup purpose. We are using the tags. So these kind of benefits while we have using the version control system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the kind of branches have you created?
Yeah, I created different branches, like standard branches I created like dev 1 or dev 2, like standard related thing. And also I created bug fix
How do
branches.
you do the release?
Yeah. So if I wanted to perform the release, what I will do is we are using the M2 release plugin for the release process. So usually how we will do is, once my developer giving the URL of our source code and pom.xml, what I will do is I will check the snapshot version first point. So here they mention the correct snapshot version or not. So here two things is there, current release version and the next development version. If it is current release version is 1.0, it should be next development version is 1.1. So the developer mentioned correctly or not in the form. So these steps I have to check before I do the release process. After that, what I will do is I will enable the perform and release option. There I can give my credentials. So if I wanted to future to track the history of who did the previous releases, I will use that credentials, and there I will schedule the job. So once build getting success, what I will do is I will check the two things. One is whether the packages will be uploaded into your server, and then meanwhile it will uploaded into your backup repository to the Nexus. So these kind of things I will do once my release is completed. Yeah.
So what is the command for to do a release?
Like usually we are using plugin only we will use.
So what is the command you use? So when you're building, you need to specify is it a release build or is it a snapshot build, right? So how do you differentiate? So you need to give a different command. So what is the command for release?
In the goal, I will pass the deploy. Clean and deploy will pass in the goals of our Maven. If I wanted to through the command.
So have you implemented any code quality check tools?
Code quality check, Sonar Cube.
Sonar Cube.
Yeah, Sonar Cube only we implemented very recently into my project.
So how do you integrate that in the form? How do you tell the form to use Sonar Cube?
Yeah. So in the for this, what we have to do is for the Sonar Cube, we have to set up the Sonar. First, we have to install the Sonar plugin into your Jenkins box. So after that, you have to mention the plugin dependencies into your form.xml. Like how I will mention is, before I mention the I will write the form.xml. I have to check the compatibility, whether like Maven and the Sonar Cube will compatible or not. These kind of things I will check. Later I will mention the this group ID, artifact ID, and these things details I will give into my form.xml. So later that form.xml link I will configure into my Jenkins job. So like this way I can call to Sonar and Maven form.xml.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you configure Jenkins?
Yeah.
To do a automatic build when the code checking happens?
Yeah. So for this scenario, what I have to do is, whenever my developer settling the source code into any version control system, if I wanted to automate the build process, what I will do is first poll SCM I have to enable. In the poll SCM option, what I have to do is, according to our cron tab scheduling the job, I will give the 5 stars or at the rate of monthly I will pass. So usually what it will do is, whenever my developer scheduling the source code into S1 repository, automatically the poll SCM will be every time it will check it will monitoring your version control system, like any changes is happen into your particular branch or your repository. If suppose anything happen into changes into your repository, automatically the build will be triggered into your Jenkins. So this is the way how I will automate the process.
Okay. Do we need to install any specific plugin in Jenkins to trigger automatic build?
Not required. Automatically, when we installing the Jenkins box, usually you will get the full SCM option.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you integrate SVN in Jenkins? Do you need to install any plugin?
Yeah, and SVN also usually we are using 1.652.1. So usually when we installing the Jenkins default, it will come via plugin only. If you don't have, you have to install a plugin, subversion plugin to your Jenkins box.
Okay. So how do
Yeah.
you specify when you're creating a build job in Jenkins? How do you specify which repository you want to use? Is it SVN or is it
Yeah.
or something
So
else?
so when we creating the Jenkins job, usually under the SCM tag, SCM section, we have to select the which version control you wanted to call. Like subversion, if I call, I will enable SVN subversion stage, and I will pass that SVN URL into my Jenkins job configuration. So like that way, I will call to my version controlling system.
How do you enable the dashboard to view the Sonar Cube reports?
Can you please once again?
How do you enable the dashboard for Sonar Cube or JUnit test cases?
Yeah. So for that scenario, what we have to do is when I wanted to enable the code quality in the Sonar Cube, in the post build action, I have to enable the Sonar Cube, and then also I have to select our Sonar plugin name. I have to select, and also once the build getting success, after that I have to go to Sonar dashboard. There I will get the reports option once I log into Sonar Cube. I'll get the reports option in the Sonar Cube. Like that way, I will get the reports in the Sonar Cube. So whatever it may be, even JUnit test cases also.
Okay. What is the pipeline?
So usually pipeline is like if I want to automate the complete architecture of our build process, like at a time multiple jobs, if I wanted to build at a time, so I will automate the complete process of the build pipeline. So if I if I wanted to build at a time 4 or 5 builds having the dependency branches. So what I can do is I will install the pipeline plugin into my Jenkins box, and then I will create the pipeline view. So whatever jobs I wanted to view in the pipeline way, so I will select the jobs into that configuration. Later, once it is done, what I will do is initial job which job I wanted to trigger, that job I will configure into my pipeline view. So once it is done, after that, so usually we are like once we check it in the source code, it will start the building job by job. We can automate the process. So for this situations, we are using the
So you have
pipeline
something called a pre-build and post-build option in the
job configuration.
build job, right?
Yeah.
What is the difference between that and creating a pipeline?
Yeah. So it's like a forced build actions only we are giving the pipeline. Like after when we configure the Jenkins job step by step, we will configure. Like initially SCM we will select. Later once it is in build tool we will select. After that final at the end we have to select our pipeline view. Like post build actions we have to select. So if I select a free build only, so Maven we have to select after only. So that's why I will call in the post build action to the pipeline view.
Okay.
Yeah.
So deployment to which kind of server have you configured?
Red Hat serverless server we are using for the deployments in my
Application server?
What?
What about web servers?
We don't have.
Like Tomcat or web.
I worked in Tomcat like a few months, but purely I worked in Red Hat serverless server for the uploading packages.
So how do you configure So once the build job is done and once you have the
Mm.
war package,
Yeah.
how we configure in Jenkins
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do the automatic
Yeah.
deployment?
Yeah. So usually, if I wanted to do the deployment process via Jenkins only, I do the deployment tool Rundeck. So usually Rundeck is a tool to deploy the packages into your test servers. So in the Jenkins job only, you will get the option build is parameterized build and parameterized and build. So there I will give the parameters I will pass like a string parameter and text parameter. String parameter I will mention the job name I will mention, and coming to test parameters IP address I will pass like where I want to deploy the packages into your test environment. That IP address I will pass from the text parameter. Once it is done, in the post build action, once we install the Rundeck plugin in the Jenkins, so there what I will do is already we created a Rundeck job in the Rundeck tool. So for in the Rundeck job, once we created the Rundeck job, we will get one UUID code of the particular job. So that UUI code I will get from the Rundeck, then I will configure into my Jenkins job. So that using that UUI code, the Jenkins will call to the deployment tool Rundeck. So this action I will perform in the last stage in the post build action. So once build getting success, after that it will go and check the deployment phase. It will check the test servers, whatever you passing from the build other project parameters. Then it will deploy the packages into your test server. Like this way, I can automate the complete build and the release and the deployment architecture into my Jenkins.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your server may have some connections defined, right? Like JDBC connection or something. So how are they configured?
Yeah. Suppose, can I explain server what I worked in?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So usually we are using the Red Hat Satellite server to deploy. Uploading the packages. So how I will give the connectivity to the server is, so RHN push plugin we have to call RHN push plugin. We have to call the Red Hat Satellite server. Usually in the Red Hat Satellite server, we are maintaining the different channels. So according to the channels, what I will do is this here, when I enable the RHN push plugin, I get the number of names of the channels. So what I will do is here first I will give the IP address of my satellite server. Later username and password I will give of the Red Hat Satellite server username and password I will give. Later what I will do is where I wanted to exactly upload the packages, that channels I should give in the channels list in the server in the plugin. So once it is done, once I trigger the build, it will check the server Red Hat Satellite server IP address, and then username and the password it will check. According to that, it will check the channels, whatever channels we will pass from the list, it will go and upload the packages into your server.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you used any servers like Chef or something like that? Similar kind?
Chef, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, recently I started working on Chef also. Still learning stage I'm in Chef. I'm not very well in the Chef, but I can manage the complete architecture in the Chef.
Okay. Similar kind, anything you have used like Puppet or Ansible or something like that?
Chef and Rundeck I worked in a deployment tool, but Puppet also I have basic knowledge. Hands-on experience I don't have.
Okay. What about Docker?
Yeah, Docker I worked from past 3 months I started working on Docker also.
Okay. So what did you do using Docker?
Yeah, in the Docker we will create the different kind of the images, like whenever we are calling to the Docker images in the hub, we are using the build publish plugin from the Jenkins, we will call to the Docker images. So
So how do you
usually,
create an image?
what? How to
How do you
create?
create an image?
Yeah. So when I require the email in the Docker server, I will go to Docker mission. There I will use the command Docker space create space that image name I will pass. So once I create that,
From where it will create, from which destination it will create the image? So you need to specify your VM server details.
yeah, that server I will pass the server IP address also in the command.
Okay.
Yeah. So once I created that image, after that I will configure the according to my requirement. Then I will upload that image into my portal. Docker Hub portal. So according to my requirement, I will call to image.
Okay. Have you configured any monitoring tools?
Monitoring tools, we don't have separate tool. Health check monitoring only we have. So in my internal process, we are using just to monitoring the all servers. Daily it will send the report to our email IDs. Using that only we are doing the monitoring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the advantage of using DevOps? Why do we need to use DevOps?
Yeah. So while using the DevOps, so many advantages we have. So like previously before DevOps, what we are doing the builds manually. Building we are doing the separately. After that we will once we creating the packages, then we will take the packages and we will log into servers. Then after that I will install the each and every package into my test server. And also previously before DevOps, like we are doing the we are not doing the automated builds. Like once we develop the source code, after that only we will check while using the DevOps technology. But before we are completely do the development, finally we will sit and work on the release process, from day one to entire month, whatever I worked completely I have to check. So that scenario, it will take more time to check the code and all. It will take more time. So I can't release the version into production as I expected that. So while using the complete automation tool DevOps, so many advantages we have. Complete architecture of builds we will do the automatically. So it's like how it will do is automatically whenever you check in the source code you wanted to build according to your requirement, you will change our options into your required tools. Then according to that you can do the building and releases and packaging, everything deployment also within one shot only we can do everything while using the DevOps technology. And also recently we started integrating with the cloud also. So what it will do is whenever we wanted to secure our data in cloud also, AWS, Azure, whatever it may be. So according to that we can automate the complete process into that. So these many advantages we have while using the DevOps technology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, question.
Hello?
So, if you do a build, this is
Yeah.
my last question.
Yeah,
So,
no problem.
build for a production build, right? So, I know you worked on SPN. So,
Yeah.
how do you usually do a production build on SPN? What and all you will do? You can change.
Actually, till development to testing, I worked from past 2 projects. So production, I didn't get chance to work on the environment. So in production environment, I'm not sure how we are following.
Okay. So, you said you have worked on multiple branches, right?
Yeah.
So, say you had a Dev1 branch, Dev2 branch, and Dev3 branch.
Yeah.
So once the Dev1 branch is going to production, how do you get those changes to your Dev2 branch?
How do we change? Can you please
Get
answer?
those Dev1 changes to your Dev2 branch.
Yeah. So once it will go to production, whenever we doing the release in the test environments, we are taking the backups in the tag folder in the M2 release plugin. So for that particular code, whatever branch you build it in the Jenkins, that entire thing we will take the backup in the tag folder. So from
That's okay. So you have 2 branches.
Okay.
So 2 future branches.
Okay.
So working on branch 1, another team is working on branch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the branch 1 is went this week into production.
Okay.
Now those changes, so you create a tag and it is being released to the production. Now the future branch you have, right, which is branch 2, that does not have the changes what was implemented in branch 1. So how do you get the branch 1 changes to branch 2?
Yeah. So for that scenarios, I will check out the source code of the branch 1 from the SN repository, and I will compare the according to the branch 2 changes. So like this we can do that.
Okay. So have you not heard a word called merge?
Yeah, this kind of requirement I never want.
You are not worked on.
Yeah. Usually my developers only take care of the merges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all I had.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
No. It's good.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Some HR team will get in touch with you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.